Hello and a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insight session. We're joined today by the University of Birmingham, who are going to be talking to us about funding and scholarships, always a very popular topic. Now, just before I hand you over to David, who's going to be your main narrator for today, a reminder, it's a live session. If you have any questions at all, anything that you might have concerns over, because it is funding and scholarships related to certain countries, please email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. Or if you are watching live on the Zoom platform, and there are many of you, please put your questions in the Q&A box. We'll endeavour to get round to your questions at the end of the session, or the chat facility, even if you just want to say hello from wherever you're from and show your friendly voice. But for now, I'd like to hand you through over to David. David's going to take you through the next 30-40 minutes. There will be cameos from Michael and from other students as well. David, over to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you for the Q&A.
Amazing, thank you. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. So my name's David and I work in the postgraduate recruitment team at the University of Birmingham, and I oversee mainly the master's programs, but also I do help with some of the PhD programs. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to post them in the Q&A box because we'll come to that at the end. I am also joined by Michael, who is our Deputy Head of International, and he is our scholarship expert for all things international in general, including masters and PhD. I'm also joined by two of our student scholars. So I've got Saranya, who is one of our College of Arts and Law Masters scholarship receivers. And I'm also joined by Camilla, who is one of our business school scholarship holders. So we'll be a chance to hear from them shortly. But let's get started. So throughout the presentation, if you do have any questions towards the end that we don't get to, feel free to email, as just been mentioned, but there's also our contact there for our central postgrad team. And it's also in my name, pg@contacts.bham.ac.uk. So very, very quickly, how do scholarships work at the University of Birmingham? So they're offered across the university in general to any student pretty much, but there are also some limitations. So some are only offered via our subject areas, so specific courses only. But there are ones that are open to the widest range of students. I've just put a link in the bottom there for our funding database. Feel free to take a photo or a screenshot, and you can easily access our funding database where you can then filter to your country, to your subject, to your course, etc. So I'll very quickly cover two of our main scholarships that I oversee. So the first one is the Birmingham Masters Scholarship. There's over 200 available, and this is a £3,000 tuition fee discount, so it's applied directly to your fees if you receive the scholarship. You do have to apply for this one, and it is exclusively for home students, so anyone who's a UK or an Irish citizen, or if you have settled status in the UK, for example, the EU pre-settled or settled scheme, or indefinite leave to remain, you can apply for this, even if perhaps you are not a British-born citizen, for example. So to be eligible for this £3,000 scholarship, you do actually need to apply for it. The link is at the very top of the screen there. PGBMS is the short URL. Take you straight to the landing page. You just need to apply before the 31st of July. As I say, home students only, and you have to be self-funded, meaning that you can still receive a UK government loan, but you can't be, say, receiving support from your employer or from a sponsor. And you have to be undertaking an eligible master's in the upcoming 2025 cohort. So what that really means for the master's degrees is almost anything. So our LLMs, Master of Arts, Master of Science, pre-reg untaught, our MPHs, our MEDs. So basically anything that's a full 180 credit masters. So we don't accept like PhD applications, MReses, PG Cert, PG diplomas, because they just don't hit that 180 credit criteria. As I say, these are for UK students, so it's obviously only applicable for our UK campuses or distance learning. So say if you're applying from Dubai, you cannot receive this scholarship. But if you're coming to the UK, you can definitely receive this scholarship if you apply. And that's a very brief overview. The next one we have is our Alumni Scholarship. So again, there's the short URL if you want to type it in whilst we're just presenting. But this is now a brand new scheme. It is a £2,000 tuition fee discount. Sorry, just in the chat, there's a question about the deadline. So the deadline is the 30th of April for round one. The Birmingham Master Scholarship is in 2 rounds, as is the Alumni Scholarship. But as long as you submit an application before the end date, so the 31st of July here, that's fine. We will still consider your application. You don't need to reapply during round 1 and round 2. We'd take everything into account, don't worry. So that is the very last date you need to apply. But just to come back to this Alumni Scholarship as well. So it is a £2,000 tuition fee discount. Like I say, it is brand new. For 2025 entry, it's for any returning undergraduate alumni. So you have to have done your bachelor's here at the University of Birmingham. That could have been at our Dubai campus or our Birmingham campus. That's completely fine. But then you have to be going on to a postgraduate taught course. So again, another master's at our Birmingham campus. So you can apply if you've studied at Dubai, but now you're coming to Birmingham for a postgrad course. That's completely fine, but you can't use this for going saying you graduate from Dubai and you want to stay in Dubai. This is for if you're coming to the UK campus. It is open to both home and international students. You can have graduated at any year. That's completely fine. There's no restriction of it being within a certain time period. You can have graduated 20 years ago plus, and you can still apply for this scholarship. And as I say there, it is not automatic. You do need to apply for this scholarship. There are about 200 or sorry, there's 300 scholarships available, and these were based upon your academic achievements at undergraduate level. So you just basically tell us your overall score at your undergraduate bachelor's degree, which is in the application form, and then you can apply for this scholarship, and we'll basically account for that as well as some of our subject priority areas. So it's a very simple award to apply to. There's no such thing as a personal statement with these. It is very much submit the form, and then we'll get back to you around just after the 31st July deadline, if not before. As I say, it's open to home and international, and it can be held in conjunction with other awards. So you can actually stack this. So although this is a £2,000 tuition fee discount, if other scholarships allow it, you could then stack it with other awards to create a bigger discount. And then that is a nice segue into our international scholarships. So I will hand over to Michael, who is our expert.
Great. Thanks very much, Dave. So I'm Michael Bissell. Great to connect with everyone on this session. I'm Deputy Head of International Student Recruitment at the University of Birmingham, and it's so great to be able to come online today to talk to you about our offer, which is extensive. We do have a large number of international scholarships. If I can just ask you, Dave, to roll on to the next slide for me, please. The key thing for us is to emphasise that many of our international students come to choose the UK and choose the University of Birmingham because of the reputation, the ranking, the prestige associated with the UK universities in general. And certainly, if you look at the international rankings, UK universities are disproportionately in the top 10 rankings. I think we've got 4 British universities in there and 4 Americans. When you consider the size of the UK relative to America, that's pretty big. And certainly in the top 100, so many British universities feature in the top 100, and Birmingham as 80th in the world ranking in the QS, certainly a very, very strong feature, and we consistently feature in the top 100. And it's because of the longevity of the university's history, how many years we've been doing research and education, and certainly Birmingham has been doing it for 125 years this year. And to celebrate that, we're offering this 125th anniversary scholarship at the University of Birmingham. We're tremendously excited about it. Essentially, it is an automatic scholarship. So what I would say is, for those of you looking at universities beyond Birmingham, seeing what scholarships they're offering, they might well be putting out their big values of scholarships, but please do look at the detail as to how and the likelihood of winning those. You often find that there are limited numbers, or they're capped, or they're competitive, which gives you less certainty about whether you're going to get it. So for this 125th anniversary, the key message is that it is automatic, and you will get it if you come onto a taught masters at the UK campus and you meet the eligibility criteria. So it's a guarantee and a rock solid offer for you. We're offering essentially a £4,000 tuition fee discount for a master's programme at the UK campus for anyone starting in September 2025. And essentially it helps to alleviate some of the strain financially, because we do recognise, coming to a university is a big commitment, and we want to make sure we're getting the best students, the brightest students, and also fostering, a genuinely global community, so we can enable students from all over the world to come to Birmingham. I should mention that for India in particular, we've uplifted it slightly to £5,000, and that's a reflection of the fact that many of our Indian applicants and our consultant partners are telling us that there is that sensitivity to the price in India in particular, and so we've tried to really maximise the help there that we can. So for India, students are eligible for a discount of up to £5,000, but they must apply for our India Chancellor Scholarship to be considered for the uplifted £5,000 125th anniversary award. So I've put the URL at the bottom of the slide there, so you can come directly through to our webpage, which will give you further information about this. So if you can move on to the next slide, please, David. So who is eligible? It's a key question. So we've opened it up to the countries where we see the greatest demand for our master's program. So you can see here that we have in Africa, we've got Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And in the Americas, we've got Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, and Peru. And then Asia, India, Iran, Malaysia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Thailand, UAE, and Vietnam. We recognize that's not all global countries, but certainly we've tried to spread it as much as we can. You know, we've only got so many scholarships that we can automatically offer, and these are the countries where we find the greatest demand from our programs. So it's a pretty straightforward process. You obviously have to apply for our master's course. You have to have accepted the offer, and you must have paid your deposit. And so once you've paid that deposit, accepted the offer, you automatically have secured that scholarship in essence. And we will issue you with a letter electronically confirming that you've got that, and we will put it on your CAS. So when you apply for the visa, I should say that there are some exceptions in the business school. So almost all master's programs are eligible for this, including in the business school. We have got a couple of exceptions, or three programs which are excluded, and that's largely because we're so inundated with demand from these programs that we would struggle to actually fund those scholarships. So MSc Management, Marketing, International Business are not included at the moment. Not to say that we may not tweak it in the future, but at the moment they're not included. But every other business school program, you will automatically get that. But you must be domiciled in one of the countries listed here. It's not be a national of it, must be habitually residing and domiciled in those countries. In terms of the deadline to secure the scholarship, you just must meet all the conditions of your offer, including the deposit payment by the deadline specified in your offer letter. And that's essentially the core deadline. And if you're coming from India and you want to be considered for the uplifted £5,000, you must apply again. You must apply for the India Chancellor Scholarship, and there is a separate specified deadline for that scholarship. If you could just move over to the next slide. This just summarizes for your benefit my reference to our business school, which we know is one of the most in-demand schools in the university. Again, all the countries that I've listed are eligible for the 125th anniversary discount scholarship for the business school. Again, it's the same process to be securing that scholarship. The only difference with the business school is that they have automatically offered the £5,000 to students from any country. So whether you're from India or from any of the other eligible countries that I've named, you will get the £5,000 automatically. And for Indian students, there's no need to submit the India Chancellors to get uplifted £5,000 value. We have specified that we reserve the right to withdraw the scholarship offer to new candidates coming into the pipeline, if you like, at any time. So we do recommend early application. We have not specified a clear deadline for this, but we would recommend you always revisit the website to see where we are with this particular scholarship, and early applications are advised. So that's a key thing to note as well. So if you can move on to the next slide, David. So in terms of our offer beyond masters, we do have a very generous undergraduate scholarship as well, and this is a competitive scholarship. So we have the High Flyers scholarship that we're promoting this year, so recognising Birmingham's success in the High Flyers survey this year as the most targeted university in the UK by leading graduate employers. So we do very well with our careers and employability support, and our graduate employment rates are really high. And we were selected this year as #1 university in the UK as most targeted by graduate employers. So we're celebrating that success by offering scholarship named High Flyers undergraduate scholarships, and we're giving £5,000 tuition fee discounts to talented undergraduate international students. And we do have specific numbers to give away, and we're putting them into particular countries, again, where we see the most demand. What we would say is to be considered for this, these particular scholarships are being promoted by our education consultant partners and school partners to essentially help enhance access and support to offer holders. Our education agent partners are very professional, very reliable partners, generally don't charge for their services, and they're integral in the process of selection of this scholarship, and even in some cases nominating winners. So what I would say is do go to the website. You can see they're listed at the bottom. Generally, the scholarships are advertised by country. So we have scholarships for India, scholarships for certain African countries, for Hong Kong, for Middle East and China and beyond. They all have their own individual scholarship application pages. and information pages. I think the earliest deadline is 31st of May for some of them, and some of them have deadlines in June and July. So do go onto the website and check out those particular deadlines. Those scholarships will be tuition fee discounts for the first year of fees only. So we generally are offering this only to discount on the first year. There are other scholarships at the university that offer multi-year discounting, but for the high flyers, it's year one only. And the follow-on slide, if you can move over to the next one, David, just specifies the particular countries and the particular numbers of scholarships that we have on offer, so you can see where we're offering these. And again, if you are from India, for example, you want to know how to apply, go through to the website listed at the bottom, find the India High Flyer Scholarship, and it will tell you which education consultant partners we're working with. You can approach one of those to put yourself forward and request to be nominated and selected for one of those scholarships. If you can move on to the next one. So in a similar way to the competitive undergraduate scholarships, we're also offering competitive postgraduate master scholarships, even aside from our automatic master scholarships, the 125. So we've got the Chancellor Scholarship at the postgraduate level. They're prestigious awards, again, trying to attract the most talented international applicants. And we've been tremendously proud to be able to welcome our newly appointed Chancellor, Sandy Okoro. And these scholarships are in celebration of her appointment as our new University Chancellor. And she, as a person and professionally and personally committed to academic excellence, inclusivity, global engagement, it chimes with exactly what she represents. And we are so proud to be able to name the scholarship in her honour. Each scholarship is valued at £6,000 as a tuition fee discount. We have a significant pot of funding to give away as scholarships of £6,000. And again, it's trying to essentially remove some of the obstacles cost-wise from students from particular countries. The key things to mention here are this scholarship is open to students from mainland China, and we recognise that China is one of our biggest source countries of students. And so we've allocated at the moment 12 scholarships from our particular part of the university, but an additional 10 from the business school. So there are 22 scholarships in total for Chinese masters students to get that £6,000 discount. Equally, we have a significant allocation for India, 10 from our part of the university and then 10 in the business school, again, to try and attract students from India. The key thing to mention here, again, is that you can join these scholarships without 125 scholarship. So not in the case of China, because it's not eligible for the 125th anniversary award, but for India, if you win the £4,000 125th anniversary, which is the automatic award, or even the £5,000 uplifted one, you can combine that with this particular Chancellor Scholarship if you win this scholarship. So we could potentially be offering you a £10,000 discount, or even in some cases, if you get the uplifted one, £6,000, but £10,000 as a discount from India. What I would say is, if I can just move on to the next slide. Again, these are capped, they're limited, they're competitive, but they do still represent a significant contribution. And if you are coming from one of those other countries eligible for the 125, Nigeria, Ghana, India, and others, and then you can conjoin them. So that will make a significant impact on the affordability of the programme. I can move on to the next slide. I just wanted to briefly mention some of the other opportunities available, and so I've simply listed them here. We are a big partner of, for example, Chevening. We are a big partner of the Commonwealth Scholarship. These are both scholarships funded by the UK government, and they offer a full fee waiver, all fees covered for a master's, and in the case of the Commonwealth, the PhD as well, and split site PhD and other models. And they provide for living costs as well. And we are a key partner of these two scholarship bodies. I've only briefly mentioned them here because the deadlines for those programs have largely closed, certainly for Chevening, the biggest one. They fund 2,000 students from around the world to come to the UK every year for masters. We generally get about 25 to, in 1 year, 75 is our biggest intake. But that scholarship application deadline is normally in November. And so we're actually closed for the next year. But if you're on this session and want to consider 2026 entry, then do consider Chevening and Commonwealth. Almost every country is eligible for Chevening, apart from the United States and EU countries. Almost every other country is eligible. I wanted to briefly flag in here Also, Dubai campus, which I'll come on to on the next slide, but also we have opportunities in our particular colleges and schools across the university, which I think we'll come on to in later questions and slides. But the business school at Birmingham has generous scholarships on offer. I've already mentioned the 125th anniversary automatic award that they're part of. They also have they will be contributing to the Chancellor Scholarship. So I mentioned they'll be offering funding for India and China to top those up, so £6,000 awards. And they also have the Dean's Scholarships in 2025, including for academic excellence, leadership potential, and contributions towards responsible business. So the Dean's Scholarship is another big scholarship program our business school is offering. I also wanted to point very briefly to our Engineering and Physical Sciences College. They too offer quite generous scholarships, particularly at the undergraduate level. So there are, by individual school and department, undergraduate international scholarships. So for example, our chemical engineering department offers excellence scholarships, and they offer, based on your high school grades and your exit qualifications from your IB or A level or equivalent. Get high grades, they will give you potentially a £3,000 discount. And the critical thing for engineering and physical sciences is that their scholarship can be applied in each of the year, subject to performance through the year. So do check out those particular engineering and physical sciences undergraduate excellence scholarships. And very briefly, I want to touch on School of Law. We have an offer of £3,000 as a discount for our LLB programs. Again, a competitive scholarship. Go onto our website and look at the School of Law. Again, I should mention these are also renewable. The main application deadline for these is 30th of April 2025, and there are further details on the School of Law website. If we go on to the next slide, I just want to very briefly mention our fantastic opportunity at the Dubai campus. So University of Birmingham is a university with a long-standing presence in Dubai. We've got an exceptionally large campus, a huge student body there. If you're a student, maybe in Nigeria, Pakistan, India, who is open to considering the UAE as a study destination, fantastic, world-leading city, but also increasingly an education hub. We are one of the leading universities in the UAE and certainly in Dubai, and the campus itself is offering bachelor degrees and master's degrees, and they are still very much offering a generous portfolio of scholarships to help attract students beyond the UAE, essentially. So we can offer the, for example, Chancellor's Academic Merit Scholarship, which offers discounts of 10, 15, 20, 30, I think up to 40% scholarships under that. And that's a discount on every year, potentially. We have the Provost Academic Scholarship. We have an Emirati Excellence Scholarship to attract Emirati nationals. We have an Alumni Scholarship of 20% discount off all years. A Corporate Scholarship to reward partners in Dubai Police, RTA, all for time education. We have scholarships if you attend an open day. And then we have other country-specific scholarships for students coming from specifically places like India, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, but others beyond. And then we have a school partnership as well with GEMS Network. So if you're coming from a GEMS school in the UAE or the Middle East, then again, you're likely to be eligible for a GEMS scholarship as well from the Dubai campus. So fantastic opportunity. If you graduate from a degree at the Dubai campus, your certificate will simply state University of Birmingham. It does not specify the campus, and it is very much fully owned and delivered and managed, and the staff are all employed by the University of Birmingham. It's fully integrated campus in the University of Birmingham family, and the experience and quality is certainly on par with the UK campus. I just want to wrap up on my slides with a contact slide. So thanks, Dave. So that if you are from any of the regions around the world that I've talked about in this presentation, or indeed from another country, and you want to know more about our international scholarship offer, you're more than welcome to reach out to our international recruitment team. We've got an army of about 35 staff around the world and here in Edgbaston in the UK that are happy to answer your questions. And I've thrown all the individual sub-team email addresses on that slide so you can reach out to them. And I'll hand back at this point. Thank you for listening.
So I'll just very briefly introduce one of our feature scholarships as well. So this is the College of Arts and Law Master's Scholarship. So this is really for our like our arts and humanities subjects, so from literature to history, etc. Them sort of degrees, or the humanities sort of based subjects. This is specifically a scholarship for them. So this is a scholarship that kind of varies slightly its value. So it covers the home fee rate. So It may be 10 grand, it may be 12 grand, that sort of thing, depending on each course's fee status and fee charge for obviously the course. You can apply for this if you're studying at our campus in Birmingham. As I say, in the College of Arts and Law on one of our more humanities-based projects and courses. So you should apply for the course first, which is the common route for most of our scholarships. We ask you to actually apply for the course and then apply for the scholarship. You can do it simultaneously or one after the other. It's up to you, sort of thing. As long as you have more like a student ID, that's what we need. Then if you are successful, we can apply the value of your scholarship directly to your account. So that's what we always recommend, is apply for the course first and then your scholarship. The deadline for this one is Wednesday, 26th of March, 2025 at 4 p.m. UK time. So that's obviously something to always be aware of, is quite a few of our scholarships, other than state the date and the time, you should always be conscious. They'll probably be UK based unless specified otherwise. So if you've got time zone that's obviously ahead or behind, it's just to be aware of. So maybe, like Michael said, get that application a bit early, just so you don't risk missing out on the deadline basically due to time zones. There is the QR code and the URL if you wish to apply for this and find out more information. But the best way to find out about our scholarships is obviously with our students. So I'm actually going to pass over to Saranya, who can actually talk about her experience because she is one of our recipients of the scholarship. So Saranya, I'll hand over to you.
Hello, everyone. I am Sharana Mukhopadhyay. I am currently pursuing my Master of Arts in Modern and Contemporary History from the University of Birmingham, and I'm a recipient of the College of Arts and Law Master's level scholarships. What essentially the scholarship is supposed to do is that it covers the UK or the home tuition fee rate for your international tuition fee, as well as for home students. I personally am an international student. I'm from India, so it greatly helped my financial burdens. But one thing that we have to understand about getting certain scholarships from the University of Birmingham is that it doesn't just open up and reduce your financial burdens, but it also kind of opens up networks for you, which greatly help you on your road to success in the university itself. Basically, what the scholarship did for me is provided the recognition that I knew that I deserved for a really long time to the kind of study that I was doing. I am pursuing a very academic career, so receiving such a huge scholarship in the College of Arts and Law was a big thing personally for me. Because several of the scholarships based in the UK are for STEM students and for students in business schools. So it is difficult to locate places which offer arts and law scholarships, Birmingham being a major one of those universities in the UK. It provided recognition to my academic journey and strengthened my desire for an academic career. But it also helped me boost my professional development, because one of the most important things that the College of Arts and Law has done for me is open up the venues to connect with other scholars and platforms to connect with other scholars from different schools, not only from the College of Arts and Law, but also from the business school, and also from different departments such as math and sciences. With the degree I am pursuing, which is greatly interdisciplinary, eventually in nature, because I'm studying modern and contemporary history, it's politics, gender politics, and also certain amounts of diplomacy. So it helped me connect with other scholars who were pursuing their degrees along such lines, and greatly helped me broaden my worldview. Lastly, it did greatly help me reduce my financial burdens as a student and dedicate my undivided focus to my academic journey, which I believe is really important for a one-year master's, that you dedicate your undivided focus to your study. That's it, I think, for me as a College of Arts and Law Master's scholar. And if you have any questions at the end of the seminar, I would be very happy to take them. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Rania. So yeah, so if anyone is interested in this scholarship, it is open to both home and international students, as we say, and it will just cover like the home fee, which can be a significant portion still. So we will now move on to our business school scholarship recipients. So first of all, I would like to ask Camilla to talk about her experiences about the scholarship and how much she received and how it supported her as well. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, David. So basically, I am Camila. Come from South America, specifically Ecuador. So I've achieved the Dean Responsible Business Scholarship, which is a scholarship that is based on academic merit. So how does this scholarship have supported me? This scholarship provides the students with 25,000 support in their financial. So as Rania mentioned, these scholarships support you financially. So it kind of helps you to focus with your studies without financial stress. So that's how the university support you. And also like they have the value and they believe in you. And in the studies, besides all the financial barriers that sometimes coming from developing countries might have, they support you also with your studies because you can engage in your coursework, focus on yourself, aim to achieve a distinction, access to valuable resources within all the facilities that the university provide, and also the networking, as Saraya mentioned. So this cohort is of 11 students from different parts of the world. From South America, there's 2 of us. From Ecuador, it's myself and one of my account acquaintance, which is from Brazil. And then as you can see in the picture, they're from India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, and Vietnam. So the access to networking helps you a lot. So I would also like to highlight that besides all this, what is important for you is to show how passionate you are about this, because the university will see that and you'll get this access of education, information, something that is really valuable for you to start pursuing your careers and, well, all that is related to your professional growth. Likewise, with this scholarship, it opens you tons of possibilities. At the moment, for example, I'm working within the university. I'm also doing a volunteer with the Galapagos Conservation Trust in London. So the fact that this scholarship helps you not just to develop your professional role, but also personally, and how you can thrive to do so much things helps you a lot. And to anyone that is watching this, you still have time, as David mentioned and Michael, go into the website and look for all the abilities you have and all the possibilities that might open your doors.
Amazing. Thank you, Camilla. And so I'll just next pass along to Shadman, who is also one of our Responsible Business Scholarship recipients.
Hi everyone, I'm Satman Sakib Brahmat. I'm from Bangladesh. As Camilla already said that these are the people who received Dean Scholarship in the 24-25 cohort. This scholarship is provided by the Birmingham Business School. It is considered one of the most prestigious scholarship because it's almost the 80% of your tuition fees. So I received almost £24,000 of this scholarship. Moving on, I would like to describe about my profile a bit. I come from Bangladesh. Previously, I have worked in Bragg Business School, which is also a prestigious business school in Bangladesh, and I was a research associate there. I graduated with a marketing and a finance degree, and after that, I worked with research. I was very passionate about climate finance and data mining and entrepreneurship. So this is what actually helped me to gain this scholarship, because in the scholarship, I had to write a scholarship essay. So there I focused on what are the objectives that I want to have after graduating from here, how this degree can actually help me giving back to the community from where I am. For example, I highlighted that the country that I've come from is Bangladesh. It is one of the countries that is going to be affected because of climate change. So I highlighted how studying business analytics can help me at least give something back to my country. So this is how I explained them that I'm very passionate about this, and I provided them ideas about practical solutions. And I believe this was very crucial for getting this scholarship. Moving on. So the scholarship, Gareth, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you so much. So I would also like to mention that this scholarship helped me to make a quick decision where should I go, because I also got offers from other prestigious Russell Group universities. I also got scholarships from there, but this scholarship was obviously a big amount for me, so I dropped in without any thinking. So I didn't have to take a loan like many students have to take, international students like us, mostly from the subcontinent. We take loans for coming for international masters. So I didn't have to take a loan for myself. And since I got this scholarship, so I didn't have to think about my living expenses and other expenses, and I could focus more on my study and skill development. And I'll be very honest, this helped me immensely. I could solely focus on my studies and in skill development, and my first semester results are out, and I got very pretty good marks on those. I won't lie. So moving on to the next slide, please. So it is giving me a previous one, professional growth and networking opportunities. I'm also student rep for my cohort. So since I do not have any financial burden, and I also got this scholarship, this has led to me to connect with so many people, so many people I could never imagine before coming here. So it has given me access to lots of people, this scholarship. I'm working with the guild as a student representative of the University of Birmingham, and also for this cohort. Besides, I'm also joined many societies here. I actively work in the ISOC of the university, and there are many societies. This scholarship can give you access. You can actually leverage this one. And as I said, I have this. I always want to give back to my community from where I have come, because this is the whole purpose of the scholarship, because they are giving you access to something prestigious. But at the end of the day, we always need to have that commitment of giving back to the communities we come from, our own objective. And I believe if you want to pursue this scholarship, Dean scholarship, and you need to be committed to your goal, to your aim, to give something back to Earth. I believe if you're considering Birmingham Business School, you should consider the scholarships. Thank you from my end.
We've now come to the end of our little scholarship presentation. It was a very quick whistle-stop tour. There is a QR code there, which will take you to our postgraduate funding database. So you can check that out, or can filter by country, by level of study, nationality, etc. So you can see the scholarships that are open for you to apply to. But yeah, now I think I'll pass back over.
Yeah,
Thank you,
excellent,
guys.
David. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone as well for participating. It's always great to hear so many different aspects of, what they went through to get the scholarship, how they found it, how they found studying at the University of Birmingham. I think that's so important. People think, oh, funding and scholarship, I can get some help financially, but you got to enjoy studying there. You got to enjoy wanting to do that course. So I always think that's so important. And we've had quite a lot of questions coming in. Obviously, for the students that are interested in asking questions, there's a lot of questions that are very similar in a very different way. So we're going to try and do our best to kind of answer it on a more broad level. One of the questions that have come in, and it surrounds the Chevening scholarship, Michael, that you went through earlier on, would be if a student does apply for other funding and then they apply for a Chevening or a Marshall scholarship or Commonwealth, something like that. If they get rejected for that, and I know it's such a negative word, rejected, but if they do get rejected for that, do they still have the opportunity to apply again, apply for other funding? And how will you help them from a university perspective actually enroll?
Yeah, that's a good question. So certainly if you're applying for a Chevening or Commonwealth, there's huge volumes in those scholarships. Lots of students are applying from around the world because they're so generous, and we know that certainly not every student will win one of those scholarships. Our advice would be obviously apply for everything that you think you're eligible for. Apply for everything. You have to put different irons in the fire and have lots of different options open to you, and really go as hard as you can on every particular option to see what you can actually come up with at the end. And what I would say is, even if you're not successful for evening, like I said, if you've applied for our other scholarships to the University of Birmingham, aside from any automatic one you might be eligible for, then hopefully you will be able to attract something. And what I would say is do your homework, engage with us, come onto our webinars such as this, our own webinars as well, connect with us via email on our chats. on our own site also, and attend our events overseas and in the UK. And just ask the question, keep asking the questions, and if you have determination, hopefully you'll have some success with the scholarships, because there's so much on offer. You can tell from this session, it's really not just one size fits all. We have so many opportunities around scholarships. But I would also say into the mix, I would also want to throw the consideration of living costs, because a lot of these scholarships we're talking about are about tuition fees and reducing those tuition fees. Some of the scholarships we've talked about include stipends and maintenance. But it's also important to mention that where you come to study, if you're coming physically to study in the UK, might determine how much you end up spending. And certainly we would argue at the University of Birmingham that coming to a Midland city, I mean, Birmingham's the largest regional city in the UK, outside of London, the second largest city in the UK. So you get that, all that you would expect that comes with that. Obviously, it's central, it's connected, but it's also, we would argue, much more affordable than the southeast and other parts of the UK. And if you look at a website like Numbeo, you can see that it's approximately like 56% lower living costs than London. Think about the lesser transport costs, the lower rent costs, and just by the virtue of being a campus university, you're living in and amongst the community near us, so much more convenient. And even compared to other cities in the south and other parts of the UK, substantially cheaper to live in. So that's another factor that also bear in mind alongside the panoply of scholarships you might be applying for.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying at the start of the Q&A as well, about how important it is to not just apply for funding and scholarship because it's there, to apply for the right course and the right uni for you. I just want to touch on Birmingham, because I think that's really important for those students that are interested in watching. Yes, you've got your Dubai campus, but Birmingham in itself is such a diverse city. It's a huge city without feeling like you're like in a London where you get lost. It's so cultural as well, which is fantastic. But it does have quite a homely feel to it. I've been to Birmingham quite a few times, and you don't feel like you're in a huge city, but you are. How important is that for an international student when they're coming over, in particular face-to-face campus learning, that they can feel pretty much at home no matter where they're from, whether they're from the States, from Asia, from Southern Hemisphere, no matter where they're from?
That's definitely true. I mean, certainly if you're in Birmingham, no one does not feel at home in Birmingham. I mean, if you look at our last kind of census, over 50, I think 51% of the population is essentially from what we would consider a kind of BAME background or sort of ethnic minority background. So a very diverse city as a place to be.
Yeah, and just going back to, again, the affordability side of things, and when students do move to Birmingham, accommodation wise, what options are there? Because there's some universities that offer guaranteed accommodation. There's some universities that work in partnership with accommodation providers. What side of the fence do you guys sit on?
Do you want to take this, Dave, or fly?
I'm going to say, do you want me to have a go?
Your bag.
So we do offer guaranteed accommodation for international students. So you do have the chance to book a room. There is the deadline specified on our website. Off the top of my head, Michael, do you remember? I want to say 31st of May, but I think postgrads can be even later, maybe.
Yeah, I think it may have become more generous this year. I'll check that out just for you.
But yeah, so we do have our guaranteed accommodation, and they are like some really we've got basically got loads of different accommodation types. So if you want an ensuite, you can do. If you want to share a bathroom to reduce your costs, you can do. If you want to live with 4 people or 6 people, again, there's the option there to always personalize it to your own budget. I know when we've been traveling overseas, some students are a bit concerned about cooking for themselves. So there is the option as well to add in like a meal plan, which basically means you'll have your meals cooked for you, and you can go down to like the canteen area, the restaurant areas, or the cafes across the campus and use this money as part of your accommodation fees. So you don't have to worry about cooking and buying utilities and all that sort of stuff. But there is the option there. If you do actually want to cook for yourself, we have a very international community at the south of campus, lots of different international markets. I know especially with our Asian markets, they're very popular. So yeah, there's always the chance there. And we do offer a range of on campus as our own ones, but also private accommodation. So if you do want to live at the south campus, that's where most of our students, at least home students, move to. So yeah, there's definitely the chance for on campus or private, and we do offer guarantee schemes as well.
A couple more questions.
Can I just jump in
Go
there
on,
just to
Michael.
say that there is an extended deadline this year, 31st of July is the accommodation guarantee deadline for international students. If you want to come as an undergraduate or postgraduate, you have that guaranteed accommodation. And what I would say is Birmingham has never had shortages of accommodation which have occurred at other UK universities. So we don't have waiting lists in the same way and a shortage. So and it's good quality accommodation.
Can I just stay on the theme of accommodation, because one of the areas at postgrad.com that we've identified in the last, I would say post-pandemic, is the increase in the amount of what we call mature students. With mature students comes different challenges, families. It's difficult to just leave the country that you're in and move to another country. Do you accommodate for those that have potentially got families? They want to bring their loved ones, they want to bring perhaps children. Do you accommodate within campus or within the city for those types of students? David?
Can I have a crack at that?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we do, although not all of our university-owned accommodation offers the chance to bring family and partners, we do offer like studios, but it's not very equipped or perhaps suitable for young children to be there, for example. But we do have this as a unique scheme where we certify landlords that work with us. So we recommend certain agencies, certain landlords and tenants, not tenants, sorry, estate agencies that we've approved, we've checked that they actually are good, they're verified, and they are up to scratch. So they can be close, again, to campus, at the bottom of campus, or they could be in the city centre, depending if that's what you prefer. Maybe if that's where the schools are. But we also help with like what's around, so the public transport, schools as well. And I think that's the main like type that we do. And we work with lots of different agencies and platforms. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, Michael, but there's a new one where we've approved with private renters, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we like David said, on campus is not the best option we generally find, but the fact is that our campus is nestled in a community, Selly and neighbouring areas, which have huge amounts of private rental availability, and we find that students that bring family, particularly from Middle East and other countries, they do find support in our accommodation office that can redirect them, and we use our own database to advise them on accommodation. Most of our students generally choose to stay in Selly Oak or Harborne, somewhere nearby to the campus, but we do have ways of giving them actually access to reviews of private rentals, access to vetted landlords and such like. So we're very familiar with that scenario.
Excellent. There has been a question just come through about what are the names of the agents and stuff. If you want to find out information about that, if you are watching, no doubt you can head over to the website, head over to the accommodation section or pages, wherever it might be on the Birmingham website, and find out more information there. Also as well, if you do have any questions, there will be a follow-up to this as well, so we will reach out. I want to keep on the theme of scholarships as much as we possibly can, and the application and that kind of admission stage. A student comes on, how important is it that the English language requirement is up to speed? Because there will be people that will go, oh, I can apply for that, but actually all the things that you've got to get into motion aren't quite there, and actually you've not actually failed on the funding element of it, you failed on the fact that you've almost forgotten to make sure your English is up to scratch. How important is that, Michael, to make sure that that's all up to speed?
Yeah, so generally you'll see on our scholarship adverts on the web pages, we don't specify necessarily English language requirements around the scholarship, but we will obviously tie the scholarship to your ability to enroll on the programme. So you must obviously meet the admission requirements to get onto a programme. But what I would say is, Birmingham has a very generous English language provision in the form of our Birmingham International Academy that teaches foundation years if you're coming into a bachelor. And we're looking at other options as well around bridging years, but they also have a very big provision around English for academic purposes and pre-sessional English programs. So you could potentially come onto an English language program prior to your main degree and then still attract the scholarship. Generally, our scholarships are not really deferrable. We don't generally have the ability to defer them, but we do have every year we seem to be increasing the number of scholarships we offer. So in that year that you're seeking to be admitted to, you need to probably apply again if you want to spend time developing your English language, or if you want a pre-sessional that's a year long, for example. But there is definitely that opportunity to come for English language programs at Birmingham as well.
Superb. And David, I'm just conscious that we've spoken a lot about international recruitment and international scholarships. Obviously, I believe you kind of head up more the UK side of things. So I just want to kind of finish off on the UK side of things. People that will see the name Birmingham will know it's a prestigious university, will know of the name, very high caliber. People will know where the city is. How important is it to remember as a UK student that scholarships and funding is actually available to you, and it's not only solely available on an international level?
Yeah, definitely. You're so right. So postgrads in general make up 40% of Birmingham's student population. So that is massive. Most universities probably have like a few thousand. We have nearly like 9,000 postgrad students. And obviously home students are a huge part of that as well. So like you say, these aren't just scholarships for internationals. If you very quickly, if people need to ask or look for scholarships, there's the screen share I've got on. That's the database. And you can obviously still click home UK student. But yeah, most of our scholarships, well, pretty much all of them, it's very rare. You can still get these alongside the UK government loans. So like your master's loans through the government, like Student Finance England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland. You can still apply for all of these scholarships. So you can get that to maybe cover your course fees. And then you can apply for these scholarships. We're there to support everyone because we know no matter where you're coming from, like it's a significant investment in your like future. So we want to support you the best we can. And as I say, some of the ones that I touched upon are stackable. So we have the £3,000 Birmingham Master's Scholarship. We also have some underrepresented scholarships that I didn't get to touch on, but that's for people who are perhaps from a low household income, people that have had to complete a program to get into university to decrease grades, things like that. We do have scholarships. That's called the Postgrad Access Scholarship, and that's £4,000. And then we also have our alumni one as well. So that's there. They're all kind of stackable. So it is very much that you can build your own like discounts to support you. These are open to home students as well. So yeah, I'd say definitely check out that database and ask any questions with the email or to yourself. Because yeah, they're definitely there, and everyone needs as much help as they can get.
I think that's a great note to end on. David, Michael, and to all the panelists and students in the background as well, thank you for your time. I really, really appreciate not only the presentation, but the Q&A as well. It's always good to hear from different recruitment experts and different admissions teams, as well as students. So thank you for your time.
Do I have one opportunity to just have one quick shout out as well? Sorry,
Absolutely,
to over.
Yes, please.
Just in a follow-up point about international. So I just should also mention that the University of Birmingham does support students coming with overseas scholarships from the national governments or other overseas funders. And if you take our Chinese students away from the picture, 20% of the remaining international students come with some form of international sponsorship. So that might be LPDP funding in Indonesia, Bangladesh, Bangla Scholarship, and many others besides. So we have about 800 students on our campus with scholarships from other bodies, and we're very familiar as a university with working with your scholarship organisation. So don't let that hold you back from applying for a national scholarship or a local scholarship as well. Sorry to interrupt there.
Well said. No, thank you very much. Always good to hear. If anyone's missed anything from this session at all, or has any concerns, any questions, University of Birmingham do have your details, and we will be reaching out to you. Alternatively, you can email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. You've been watching a live session today. If you are watching on demand, please again email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. Don't try and engage on YouTube or on postgrad.com because it won't be getting through to us. For now, Michael, David, everyone else, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to seeing you hopefully again later on in the year. We are hosting 3 or 4 scholarship specials, so fingers crossed we see you later on in 2025 into 2026. And if anyone has any questions, let me know. But for now, thank you, Michael and David. Take care.